Om Sahanavavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu Mavid Vishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We'll chant Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 16, verses 1 to 5.
श्रीभगवानुवाच अभयं सत्त्वसंशुद्धिः ज्ञानयोगव्यवस्थितिः दानं दमश्च यज्ञश्च स्वाध्यायस्तप आर्जवम् अहिंसा सत्यमक्रोधः त्यागशान्तिरपैशुनम् दया भूतेष्वलोलुप्त्वं मार्दवं ह्रीरचापलम् तेजक्षमा धृतिः शौचम् अद्रोहो नातिमानिता भवन्ति सम्पदं दैवीम् अभिजातस्य भारत दम्भो दर्पोऽभिमानश्च क्रोधः पारुष्यमेव च अज्ञानं चाभिजातस्य पार्थ सम्पदमासुरीम् दैवी सम्पद्विमोक्षाय निबन्धायासुरीमता मा शुचः सम्पदं दैवीम् अभिजातोऽसि पाण्डव.
In the last class, we had done a little bit of introduction to this chapter. Then we started the qualities, but I think we saw only one quality. Now this chapter is called as Daiva Asura Sampat Vibhaga Yoga. The chapter is called as the yoga of distinction between the divine and demoniac qualities. Sampati means wealth. Wealth is a commodity with which we exchange it for something. So what you can get out of Daiva Sampati, what you can get out of Asura Sampati. And the choice is yours. You still want to run after Asura Sampati, please do. Right. But you can only get that through Asura Sampati. You can only get something else through the, depending upon what you want, you have to develop those qualities. And in the fifth shloka, which we will see eventually, he says with Deva Sampati you get moksha. With Asura Sampati you get bondage. And in the book Fall of the Human Intellect, Swamiji says people don't know the difference between bondage and freedom. People are confused as to what is bondage, what is freedom. People think if I act on my likes and dislikes, I do what I love, what I like to do, and I avoid doing what I don't like to do, I'm a free person. I am a free person, I can do what I like. But you don't understand that you are actually in bondage. You are in bondage to your likes and dislikes. You have no freedom or independence to act independent of your likes and dislikes. independent of your conditioning. And you say a person is free. Free of what? Free from what? Free from the compulsions of our emotions. Jealousy, greed, fear, arrogance, etc. Free from all the conditionings. Free from the likes and dislikes. Are we really free from all this? Not really. So, we have to understand that as we get closer and closer to the divinity, we develop these qualities. And when we put in and develop these qualities, it will help us to move towards our center much faster. As we move away from the divinity, get closer and closer to the ego, then we develop all the asura sampati. See, with asura sampati, you can also achieve many things. But in spite of all the achievements, you will still feel frustrated. You will still feel empty. You will still feel lonely. That's the beauty. Sampati doesn't mean that you will suffer from poverty. Not necessary. In the Puranic stories, you see Asura's kingdom and all filled with wealth, enjoyment. And still those fellows are insecure. You understand? That is what we need to understand. With all their mighty tapas, which is done with ego. The Asura tapas, the Asuras in the Puranas you see, they also do tapas. They also get a lot of power, wealth, Ravan, Hiranyakashipu, so many Asuras. We have all these guys, they've got tremendous power. But they still feel insecure. They still feel terrified, lost peace. So, this is what you will get with Asura Sampati. The distinction between Deva Sampati and Asura Sampati. So, therefore, he says here, you have to develop Daiva Sampati if you want freedom. So, the first shloka, we can chant it once again, no problem. Because we have started the shloka, we'll chant the shloka once again.
Shri Bhagavanuvacha Abhayam Sattva Samshuddhihi Jnana Yoga Vyavasthitihi Dhanam Damascha Yajñascha Swadhyayastapa Arjavam.
Shri Bhagavan Vacha. The Blessed Lord said to Arjuna, he straight away starts with the qualities of the divine. Bhaya means fear. Abhayam means fearlessness. Sattva Samshuddhihi means complete purity at the mind level, absolute purity. And then Jnana Yoga Vyavasthiti, being steadfast in Jnanam, knowledge, and yoga, also interpreted as being steadfast in Jnana Yoga. Dhanam, Dhanam means giving, charity. Dhamma, sense control. Yajna, sacrificial activity. Yajna. Swadhyaya. Swadhyaya means self-study. Tapa, austerity. And arjavam, uprightness. Understand? Straightforwardness, uprightness. Qualities. Abhayam, sattva samshuddhihi, jnana yoga vyavastitihi, dhanam, dhamma, yajna, swadhyaya, tapa, arjavam. 9 qualities it gives. And we mentioned in the class that, it's not like if you have one quality, you may not have the other quality. If you develop one quality, to that extent, you will develop the other qualities also. So, whichever quality inspires you, you put in effort and develop that quality. He gives so many qualities. He's already discussed qualities in the Gita in the 12th chapter, the 13th chapter. In the 12th chapter, he gave 35 qualities of a bhakta. In the 14th chapter, he gave the 20 qualities of a jnani. Here he gives the qualities of a divine person. They are not contradictory to each other. They will be supplementing each other. So, he says, we have to focus and develop these qualities. And when we evolve spiritually, the sign of evolution is these qualities. These qualities are natural in an evolved person. Right? And when he says all these qualities that is mentioned, abhayam, you find any evolved person has no fear. Absolutely no fear. So, abhayam, fearlessness. You see, in the beginning of the Gita, we are now in the 16th chapter. In the very beginning, he started by talking about the difference between Atma and Anatma. Atma, Anatma, Viveka is what he started the Gita with. Actual Gita starts with 11th shloka, chapter 2. Till then, though we call it Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna is talking in the first chapter. Arjuna Vishada Yoga is fallen into a emotional stupor. And in the first 10 shlokas also, real Gita has not started. Because Sri Krishna whips him up with powerful words in the beginning of the second chapter. And then Arjuna realizes that he is fallen. And he surrenders and becomes a Sishya. He says, you are my Guru. And only Sri Krishna starts the Gita. From verse 11, chapter 2. So, when he started, he starts with this. He says, wise people do not worry. Wise people do not worry. For the ones who have gone and for the ones who are going. Right? He says, asocyan anvashochastvam prajnavadamscha bhashase gatasun agatasun na anusochanti panditaha. Wise people do not grieve for those who have gone, those who are going. And he goes on explaining the Atma, the real self. The real self is introduced to us. We are introduced to ourselves in that portion. He says, Atma, your real self is eternal, all pervading. It is unmanifest. It is not born when the body is born. It doesn't die when the body dies. And Atma is the subtlest, being subtlest. The gross things cannot do anything to it. Nainam chindanti shastrani, nainam dahati pavakaha, nachainam kledayantyapaha, Na shoshati na marutaha. He says, weapons do not cleave this. Water does not wet this. Fire does not burn this. Wind does not blow this. All these are gross. They can do nothing to you. This means you, the Atma. So, you are not born when the body is born. You are not going to die when the body dies. And none of these, which are gross compared to the Atma, can do anything to Atma. So the fear is because of our attachment to an Atma. You understand? As long as we are attached to the Anatma, Anatma will be affected. Heat and cold affects the body. Isn't it? Heat and cold affects the body. And then joy, sorrow affects the mind. Honor affects the intellect. But none of this can affect the Atma. None of this can affect me. So where my identification is, where my attachment is. So when or to the extent I have identification with the Atma, to that extent, how can there be fear? Absolutely no fear. You understand? And when I understand that I am not the doer, I am only the Sakshi Chaitanya. In the Saturday class, we are studying Tattva Bodha. And in Tattva Bodha, he first starts with what is this Atma, right? After giving all the qualifications, and then when he begins to inquire the truth, he's starting with what is this Atma? Inquiry into the Atma. He says that which is different from beyond the gross, subtle and causal bodies. And then that which is beyond the Panchakoshas, the 5 sheaths, Annamaya Kosha, food sheath, Pranamaya Kosha, vital air sheath, Manomaya Kosha, mind sheath, Vijnanamaya Kosha, intellect sheath, and Anandamaya Kosha, Vasana sheath, or bliss sheath. It is beyond all these 5 sheaths. And he says, it is the Sakshi Chaitanya for the 3 states of consciousness, called the waking, dream and deep sleep. Okay. And it is of the nature of Sat Chit Ananda. Sat means existence. That which always exists. There is no question of coming and going for Atma. It is that which always exists. And it is of the nature of consciousness. And it is always in bliss. Bliss is its original nature. Right? The moment I think I am the doer, which it is not, it is akarta abhokta. Okay. And incidentally, we are studying the 4th chapter in the Sunday class. And there he talked about all this. Just recently we did that. I am akarta. Though I am the author of all the gunas, know me as akarta and immutable, non-doer and immutable, unaffected by any of this. So when I know I am not doing anything, when I don't have the doership, I don't incur any karma. There is no punya or papa. There is no way I am going to go through any effects of karma. You understand? So what is there to fear? Abhayam. The moment you become one with the divinity, there is no otherness. Whom are you going to fear? Everyone is the like Ralph Waldo Emerson, he says, every man is God playing fool. God is playing hide and seek in various forms. If we have not purified, we see the forms. If we are purified, we see the divinity within. That's why Jesus Christ says, "Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God." Understand? People ask, is there God? Me a question, answer that you should answer it. Because is there God means you're asking obviously in the world. So analyze each and every aspect of the world. If you want to find out if I'm there in this house, if you're serious about it, go and check every nook and corner of this house. If you're really serious. If you're just, if you had full meals and your stomach is full and you're not able to go back to sleep immediately, and out of some this thing to while away some time, you're asking, I'm not the person to answer such questions, right? For the matter, anybody. Nobody is indebted to answer that question. Find out in each and every experience. And to find out, you have to be alert. It's very difficult. Isn't it? You see, all of us are in asleep condition, even in the waking state. This also he said already. In the 69th shloka, chapter 2. Yanisha sarva bhutanam tasyam jagrati samyami. Yasyam jagrati bhutani sa nisha pashyato. Beautiful, beautiful shloka. Ya nisha. Nisha means what? Night, darkness. Ya nisha sarva bhutana. That which is night for all beings. Yasyam jagrati samyami. Samyami means well controlled, alert person, self-realized soul, enlightened person. Jnani. For a jnani, it is day. Ya nisha sarva bhutana tasyam jagrati samyami. One who is awake, is alert, is awake during the time when everybody is asleep. Ya nisha sarva bhutanam tasyam jagrati samyami. That in which everyone is asleep, the enlightened is awake. Yasyam jagrati bhutani. Where people are awake. Yasyam jagrati bhutani. Sa nisha pashyato mune. For the munis it is night. He say, our world and their world is completely ulta. We value world. He values Atma, the core. Right? So, that in which they are awake. What are they awake in? The worldly things. In that he is asleep. And that in which they are, he is asleep. So in that shloka, one of the interpretations, deep interpretation is there, which is, even during waking state, we are all actually sleeping. We are all sleepwalking. The thing we are pursuing, don't know why we are going, don't know why we are coming. Even before the class, nowadays the hot topic in Delhi, I don't think it's only Delhi, everywhere, is traffic. Suddenly you are in a party and everybody becomes silent. Start the topic of traffic. Discussing. It's too much traffic everywhere. So, why we are going, why we are coming, one thing we are chasing, they are all like sleepwalkers. Somnambulism. all like that. But enlightened person is going with awareness. During the waking state and also during sleep, they are awake. They are aware. That's why Mahavir slept on one side, not flat on his back, because he was practicing that ahimsa, even in sleep. You cannot live without killing. Even when I'm talking on Gita, I may be killing a lot of invisible insects. So, Lord Mahavir, when he lies down also, he'll sleep on one side, not flat, because he'll only have to occupy little space, that little damage only. And the whole sleep is maintaining that posture. You understand? Even in sleep, they are awake. We are all asleep even in waking state. Meaning, somewhere in the clouds. पता नहीं क्या कर रहा है, क्यों कर रहा हूं? Isn't it? Everybody talks like that. So, that awareness, that alertness, if you want to find the truth, you have to be alert. Truth cannot be found by somebody who is asleep or half asleep. And how many of us would like to be alert, and how long can we be alert? And we don't want to put in that effort to be alert. Context, especially, they say, the capacity to concentrate, pay attention, is going on reducing. Attention span is reducing. You talk to psychologists, you end up getting depressed. You might have to go to them for some counseling. Because when they say an average person only can concentrate this much time, and it's hardly anything, right? And it's only going on diminishing with our addiction to all these thoughts and all that. You can't. So, the thing is, they say, Arey, you have to have shots. And in the shots also, with 59 seconds or whatever, the very first few seconds itself you have to catch their attention. Otherwise, they'll go to something else. It is so difficult because for us, in the class and all that, it takes about half an hour, 45 minutes to warm up. And by the time we warm up, we end the class. You understand? That's how it is.
Then they just see the heading. Yeah, that's it.
So it's very difficult, right? So that's what I'm saying. You ask, is there God? Very casually. And expect the other person to answer. You go find out. You want to find out if I'm there in this house. And you come in as soon as you enter, you see the drawing room. He's not there. Oh, he's not there. He's not here. Okay, he's not there. Right? Go and see every nook and corner. Check everything. You don't. So when you are alert, you won't get deceived by the forms. You understand? You then start seeing the truth behind those masks. You understand? So when he says fearless, that fearlessness is because he has a vision that penetrates the form, that penetrates the outer layers and identifies with the core. And when that kind of vision you have, what fear you can have? That's why I told last week when we did that quality fearlessness, I quoted Mahakavi Bharati. He says, Kala. Kala means Yama. You understand? He's telling Lord Yama, hey Kala, come if you wish. Kala in Tamil, Kal means also leg. I'll kick you with my legs, he says. But with disrespect. It is poetically is expressing that fearlessness that comes because of evolving beyond the gross. You understand? And getting immersed in the knowledge about oneself. And that which is what is pervading everywhere. Then what is there to fear? When there is oneness, there is no fear. Only when there is otherness, there is fear. And when there is nothing else other than you, what is there to fear? There is no fear. You understand? So, that's what he's saying here. When there is nothing else other than you, there is no fear. We separate ourselves out of ignorance from the total. And as soon as this limited I comes, so many limited eyes automatically come along with it. Isn't it? When you're in deep sleep, there is no this limited eye, therefore there are no other limited eyes. We separate ourselves and then and fear comes out of otherness and ignorance. When you have to go into dark, is fear. But when you have the knowledge, what is the fear? No fear. And fear comes out of a cow which is calm, not affected, no fear. You understand? Only when you have the feeling that it is yours, this fear that others can take it from you. When you know that what is that divinity alone and everything is divinity, everything belongs to the divinity, everything is mine in that sense, and there is no one else other than me, and those who are seemingly being different are also me only, then where is the fear that they will take it away from me? Even if it is in their pocket only. So there's no fear. You understand? Abhaya. A person who has this higher awareness has no fear. And we did discuss that. Prahlada had no fear. The avatar of Narasimha is so scary. And he came, tore open his father. Blood splashed everywhere. Everybody is so scared. And in that context, I also said, the Devas were all afraid, but Prahlada was not afraid. That's what the story says. See, it is something different. Becoming pure is painting goodness upon oneself. You understand? Goodness is a kind of, that is also conditioning only. The societal goodness. You understand? Which is desired, conditioning. That kind of goodness is not purity. He is talking about purity. That's why immediately he says, Sattva Samshuddhihi, next to quality. It is the purity he is talking about. He is not talking about goodness. Please understand the difference. If you are pure, you will be good. If you are good, you need not necessarily be pure. Being totally free from all conditionings. From the time we are born, constant conditioning. ऐसा ही है, ये करना है, वो नहीं करना है. You understand? Constant conditioning. And we are all conditioned already when we were small kids. And we don't have the courage to question. We don't have the courage. See, fearlessness and sattva samshuddhi is very beautifully developing the thought. How can you enter liberation? How can you attain liberation when you are afraid of death? Because liberation is the death of death. You're not completely dead. Don't get scared. Baba, unnecessarily I burnt that body. He's saying he's not completely dead. What I mean is, the vasanas are still left. Therefore, the person takes another body, comes back. Right? So the I is still there. It just takes up another body. Like he says, Vasamsi jirnani yata vihaya. Navani grinnati naroparani. Again, this is coming in that second chapter between verse 11 and 30, where he talks about Atma, Anatma, Viveka. The distinction between Atma and Anatma. He says this body is only a vesture, man. Huh? You throw this body and take up another. Like you throw your cold clothes and take up another. Right? So that is death, and that is what we are all afraid of. And whatever we are attached to, when that is gone, we feel a part of us is gone. Isn't it? So painful. Because we are going on attaching to many things and going on swelling this eye with many things. Oh, so many people. He is also mine. That is mine. Going on swelling. And when that is separated, portion of mine is gone. It is wealth or people or name or fame or whatever. Right? So when I know that I am none of this, all these are things that are attached to me, and when I retain that surface like that water on the like the lotus leaf, then nothing sticks to me. So then there is no fear. You understand? So that's what he's saying. That fearlessness, because I'm absolutely pure. You see a child has no fear. But child slowly starts getting conditioned and the fear comes. Child's innocence is coupled with ignorance. A jnani's innocence is born out of knowledge. That's the difference. And that's a very big difference. Understand? Child is innocent. Ego is in its nascent form. It is still not formed yet. You condition and the ego goes on growing. This is me. Pata main kaun hu? Pata mera baap kaun hu? Very common in Delhi, right? Immediately we say, Pata main kaun hu? Kaun hai bhai? Mujhe bhi bata dijiye. Sri Krishna saying, I'm not saying. You understand? See, the interesting thing is, the one who is qualified to talk about Abhayam is talking. That is Sri Krishna. Because feel are all with weapons. Sri Krishna is without weapon. Huh? Isn't it? You know the story, right? Mahabharata story everybody knows, I guess. Sri Krishna fought the battle without weapons. He said, I will fight. My entire army will be on that side. He gave it to Duryodhana. Keep it, man. Weapons of mass destruction. जो भी research में है वो भी ले लो. ठीक है? You understand? So, कोई problem नहीं. Because he is Abhayam. All the fellows with all the weapons afraid. Arjuna was afraid of Pap, Punya. Pap, my God, he said, I will incur sin. Sri Krishna saying, Are yaar, you are beyond, you are beyond virtue and sin. You understand? The moment we gain that knowledge that I am beyond virtue and sin, how you will be afraid of sin? So all because of ignorance. Abhayam is this. And Sattva Samshuddhi, because all conditioning is gone. Otherwise, from childhood you are told, you are Lakshmi Narayan, born on this date. Understand? This has happened to you, that is happened, this thing, that thing, bahut mushkil hai. You have to be smart. You have to be this, you have to be that. You understand? And you go on, and then so much fear deep inside. And to cover that fear, you need so many things. So the real story is, during freedom struggle in India, there were people in the northern frontier who used to fight with weapons and all that. Mahatma Gandhiji, I believe, approached them and said, drop your method. They said, are you not afraid to come and talk to us? He said, I'm not afraid, you guys are afraid. I have come even without shirt. You fellows are all with weapons. You are afraid or I am afraid? You understand? They have, then immediately they started following him. That's why he was called as Frontier Gandhi. Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan was called as Frontier Gandhi. This is what we studied in history. So the dependence on anything is a sign of fear. You understand? Not using anything. Using is different, but being dependent on it is nothing but sign of fear. You keep on putting more and more front to cover your fear. Not being able to stand on your feet. It is not because, also because we are going all, in the beginning itself I started saying, it's because of attachment. And why we need it? The ego wants attachments. The more insecure you are, the more attachments you need. All are that only. So therefore he says, Abhayam, Sattva Samshuddhi, absolutely pure, clean of all agitations of the mind, all conditionings, dropping all the conditionings and becoming pure again. So that requires tremendous courage. That's why Jnani is called as a child. Because, like I said, this death itself we are afraid. You go to Brahman means what? You have to drop the ego. You have to give up this I. At least in the death, like I said, the I is going on continuing. Yes. Never indeed was I not, nor you, not these rulers of men. None of us will cease to be hereafter. Now, if you take it as the capital I, Atma, it will fit in. If you, but in the absolute sense, it will not fit in actually. Never indeed was I not means the small I continues from one birth to other. To a great extent, at the relative level, it fits in. But absolute level, only that absolute I is always existing. The relative I, when it is given up, you liberate. You understand? So you should be ready to give yourself. Are you ready? No. We are craving to attach more. You understand? How you can be pure? That courage to have nothing. See, when Draupadi was disrobed in the parliament, she threw up one of her arms, trying to protect herself with another hand, holding on to the sadi, and called for Sri Krishna. He never came. Then when finally she threw up both her arms and said, I give up, Krishna, come, complete surrender. When I give up dependence on all the impermanent factors, right? Then only I can get rooted in the permanent aspect. Then only I can be fearless. Otherwise, all my other fearlessness is all a show. Like I said, if a person has gone to the jail, they seen the worst, where will the fear be? इतना ही करेंगे ना. You will put me in the jail only, no? वो भी देख लिया, क्या करेंगे? So that fellow is not fearless. He is in deep tamas. That is not the fearlessness he's talking. He's talking about the purity. To be pure, you need fearlessness. You should even drop the goodness. When people get angry with the children misbehaving in a party or something, they can't really be angry because what will others think about them? I'm not saying you should be angry. I'm not saying that at all. But you're controlling your anger. Why? Your name will get spoiled. Come home. After you reach home, you are going to get nicely. So in front of others, you are not having the courage to be yourself. Trying to be good. Are you trying to be good or trying to be pure? To be pure, you need courage. You understand? He's talking about that. Sattva samshuddhihi. He's not talking about all this so-called goodness. Being good. That doesn't mean be bad. Like I said, if you're pure, you will be good. But if you're good, you need not necessarily be pure. A lot of our goodness is conditioned goodness. So, abhayam sattva samshuddhihi. Absolutely no agitations because there is no negativity. There is no desire. There is no otherness. Then he says, Jnana yogyavastitaha. Jnana yogyavastitaha means one who is steadfast in Jnana Yoga. Jnana Yoga, I don't know what we understand as Jnana Yoga, a lot of us. When you're in Jnana Yoga, you will always discriminate between what is real, what is unreal, and identify with what is real. That is Jnana Yoga. So in Jnana Yoga, we say Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, all that. Reading or listening, reflecting, and meditating upon what you reflected constantly till you become that. All this is Jnana Yoga. And what does this Jnana Yoga do? When you do this Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, your awareness increases. And then you are clear about what is permanent, what is real, what is unreal. And then you identify with what is real. That is Jnana Yoga. You understand? So being consistent in identifying with the reality, with the awareness, being aware 24/7, 365 days. That is Jnana Yoga. Being united with the self in all your steps with that knowledge, keeping self-realization as the goal and trying to unite with it. Nothing else interests you. That is what is called as Jnana Yogi Avastita. So that awareness that comes from Jnana, he's talking about that. That other time keeping one Bhagavad Gita book with you. Morning, noon, and night, one Bhagavad Gita book I keep. I am always pursuing Jnana Yoga. You understand? So, knowledge of what is real and being united with it, that is called Jnana Yoga. Being alert and aware always in every situation, that's called Jnana Yoga. To be pure from Rajas and Tamas, and pursuing the divinity with that Sattva. That is Jnana Yoga. That's why he said, Abhayam Sattva Samshuddhihi Jnana Yoga Vyavasthitihi. Sthiti established in that knowledge and yoga, not in anything else. Then yes, I'm not interested in passive, in playing to the tunes of the people around. It's a completely different ballgame altogether. And then Dhanam. You see, only a person who has the sense of oneness can do Dhanam. Real Dhanam, charity, can be done by a person who's having that feeling of oneness. All others doing Dhanam is not real Dhanam. When I see myself in every being, then I can share. Right? When I see the other, how can I share? Really speaking. The awareness is there and I do Dhanam. That kind of Dhanam is talking about, not mechanical charity.
Irrespective of their feeling.
Irrespective of their reciprocation. Yeah. It's unconditional. Dhanam. If it's conditional, then it's not Dhanam, then it is business. You understand? Only to the extent I is absent, you can do Dhanam. In Tamil, they say, Tanaka Minji Dhanam. Means, after you, you do Dhanam. Keep something for you. Some people interpret it like that. But I look at it differently. Dhanam is beyond I. When you go beyond I, you cannot but every action of yours will be dhanam. There's one of my very favorite inspiring quote, which I first heard from Swamiji, my guru. It says, nakedness of this world can be clothed with the trimmings of the vein. Nakedness of this world can be clothed with the trimmings of the vein. Vanity. Because for our vanity, too many things we have. We have made other people naked. Swamiji says, when you open the cupboard, clothes fall on you. So much you have put inside. And you would have not even repeated it once in a year. You would have not worn it once in a year. When you change your wardrobe, when you buy new clothes, give the old one to others. You might probably need to change it for some reason. Give it to others. It may be useful to them. Hoarding. How can a person who's hoarding give? Oh, if you give, you'll go to Swarg. If you give on that day, this particular time, you'll go to Swarg. So he's not giving. He's buying ticket. You understand? That is not giving. Giving is not possible without giving up the I, rising above the I. And when you risen above the I, you cannot but give. You will give in everything. You will be very conscious. Impossible to take. You cannot deny others. You won't. Even when you go to serve food in your plate, you will see if there is enough for others. That is dhanam. That is dhanam doesn't mean one. Have a notice you're told keep one bank account separately. Should have 5 or 7 bank accounts. One bank account for dhanam, one for salary. From the salary, 2%, 5%, whatever. It has to, and that is only for charity. All that is good. I am not ridiculing that. But he is not talking about that kind of dhanam. Of course, that is much better than doing nothing. You understand? He is talking about being charitable at all times. You will be charitable at all times. As you've risen above the I, you can't take more impossible. Be aware. So these are all the qualities that come out of awareness. There's a lot more to discuss, so I will end here today's class. Already we exceeded time. We shall conclude now. We'll start next week again. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti.